Big the dog, you couldn't get across the, how did you get it today?
I rode my bike. What else?
You guys have the hardest, it's fine. So it's closed from.
It's closed. There was a meeting.
Oh, you figured it out, how to put him on the.
Yeah.
We're on Wilson, Reebok somehow Wilson, it's not so bad.
So that's on YouTube. So we gotta
Did you
mute it
anything today?
here. That's the recording that they're gonna see.
Get around town.
I think you, that's interesting. Why you're not on the dock and you're on the dock here. That's when you see and they don't give that to you. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see if that moves.
I don't know how.
What?
Why you mean?
No, YouTube, you have to mute in the background, otherwise it's gonna play. Okay, this will minimize.
Friday
And
morning.
here's, what do you want to see when you're here? You want to be able to see, oh, but you're gonna look at people. You want to see also people on Zoom. So this is here.
See the room also?
Yeah, here it is. I'll move to here so you can see people as they join on Zoom. Yeah, I think that's Beryl first. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, isn't it unbelievable? Everyone. It was unreal. It was loud. It was you thought it was a
It
motorcade.
was by Bannockburn, and they stopped the cars.
Why would they went all the way downtown? Wow.
I really did, just pretty quiet, just like hundreds of orders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you-
saw them in the morning. They started an
Was it used
arrow.
on wheels?
Kids on wheels.
Yeah.
Is Yosy coming back to Young?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday morning. Was she 99?
No, not home.
Yeah.
She was mama's,
Yeah, nice.
she was until 2 weeks, yeah, until 2 weeks. A week ago, she was at,
When she fell.
no,
That's when she fell.
she fell asleep. And she, that's it.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't fall out.
Maybe I misunderstood him. Yeah.
Maybe I knew since the same source.
She had cancer,
Yeah,
and the treatment wasn't being with me, and she feels fine. She felt fine. She said, I'm not interested. She's living her life right away. You begin to. I wonder, they have barricades, right in front. From.
Every street.
No, they have like a car. It's at a corner of Hotspur.
Because in case of emergency vehicles, right? A fire engine.
I don't know, I thought maybe the Palestinians were gonna be on that side. They're coming.
No, think about how an ambulance or
Which is
a
why I'm
fire
not a
engine
big
is
fan
gonna
of
do it.
The whole discussion about it. We could live deep in the-
It's a very eighties thing that they're still keeping it. It's a fundraiser and you can't knock
Is
it.
it a fundraiser?
Yeah.
so from again, they would have done.
Yeah, it gets money from it.
This is what they told me. I saw them starting it. But,
The ambulance.
It's one ambulance on the street in front of.
Yeah, that's Magen David Adom. It's the ambulance service.
Yeah, that's where the money's going.
it's what they say, huh? Raising money for a few vehicles.
That's different than United Auto.
Yeah. I was 3 competition races for. Used to be only again. It's like,
Nou, voor de Eden vlog niet
yeah, like that was always around. There's Yichud Atzala and 2 Haredim. Has Haredim has to be a
Like a
few.
Jackson.
I will tell, but with our own car, okay?
Oké.
Because that'll get.
Oh, Jackson.
So that last one,
Yeah,
it
so-
happens every week. Anybody who tries to study something else, they jump down on it. And they come to the one party.
But the ladies are still going.
Is it still going?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because they have a judge that runs it.
It's always very against it.
Yeah, in New York, the lady.
There's like 5 different sub-organizations and it's always very full. It's so hard.
Sherman is very involved today.
Sherman was
Over
very
here.
busy. Yeah, they were up on.
My nephew is,
Yeah, they each smoked a pack. of these.
With their new-
Mandatory.
With their new SUV?
Yeah, they were putting out cigarette butts at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, we'll start.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we have Zebo. Zebo, yeah. So we learned in the Mishnah, this Mishnah is going like the contracts that is not written clear, not written with a lawyer. So there's gray areas that wasn't sticking out, and then the Gemara has to set up what is the closest to the truth. So Azevel Shal Baal Bayis is someone is renting a house and it has a chotzer, and there's fertilized comes from animals, and the question is who owns the fertilized. So the Gemara, the Mishnah says it belongs to the Balabais, to the original owner, not to the Soicher. The Soicher is entitled only for the ashes that comes out from the oven and the stove, that this is also being used afterward as fertilizer. What is the Mishnah talking? Talking about that the chotzer, it was rented. It's a part of the contract. And the animals that are running there and having their business there is also belongs to the soicher. Of course, everything is the soichers. Elo bechotzer de lo yagir lo soicher the Torah the masker, talking that the soicher never wanted to rent the chotzer, and the animals is also belongs to the balabais, to the masker. Pshita, why shouldn't you have any things to do with that? So the Gemara, the Torah also now. The Mishnah didn't specify what is the situation, but the Gemara tells you that he didn't rent the chotzer, but the animals came from the streets. That's the hefker fertilizing, and if anyone wants to take it, he can take it. Why? Is the Gemara telling you? Come over. This is a raya to the halacha of Rabbi Yosy and Chanina.
He only rented the house, not the chotzer.
Not the chotzer. The animal from the streets.
So why isn't that a pita also?
It's not a pshita because maybe it's hefker and everyone can take it, including the renter.
But it's not my chotzer. I can't go into your chotzer to go get it.
No, the Gemara will say that, but why you can't? Because if it's not yours, you can't go in my chotzer. Why not? Well, maybe I enter without a shoes. I apologize, but when I took mine.
What about Kinyan chotzer?
What it says, Rabbi Yosy says, Kinyan chotzer. So this Mishnah comes to prove the halacha of Rabbi Yosy Chanina, the Rabbi Yosy Chanina, Chatzero Shalodom, Koinen Lo Shalem Daida. We know there's a halacha of Chatzero Shalodom, Nachlekas in Gemara. Why does the chotzer work for the owner? And the Gemara says, one Madonna says, Chotem Shum Shlichus Yad, Mishachom Shiyad, some Madonna says, Mishum Shlichus. Either in any kinyan, you have to do two things. You have to do a physical kinyan, and you have to have in mind that you want to be kindness. So the mind you have it, because we can assume that if you make money, everyone is happy with that. So you have a clear assumption. You don't have to have mind, but the physical thing you have to do. So the chotzer is like stretched out of my hand. It's considered like I make a physical taking it in. Here, either it's mishum yad or mishum shlichus, it means my possessions works for me. You have to know the halachas, the machlokes of how the chotzer works physically, but the das is there, and there's also a physical action. Like the Gemara, now the Gemara is going to ask questions on Rabbi Yosy Bar Chanina's halacha. And it says Chatzei Shalom, we'll see if all the Mishnahs works with that. Metzia, Im Omar, if somebody is announcing and says, Kol Metzia sheyovi l'soichai hayoim tikna l'chatzei, whatever is going to come today to my chotzer, I want my chotzer to be koine for me. Lo yomar klum. Now, according to Rabbi Yochanan, he doesn't have to have this announcement because with Chatzei Shalom it works automatically with assumption, but obviously, if he's announcing that he's making declarations very clear that he really wants to do, to have das, but the Gemara says it's nothing. If we all like the Allah Rabbi Yochanan said, he shouldn't even say something, especially when he says he cannot make worse the situation. And for the Gemara, what did we say? That the only thing the chotzer works because it's like, hi, catch, I hold it. But if it's not like really holding, it's not mishtameres. In 2 seconds, people go and steal it. It's not really considered to be a physical taking in. So if it's a chotzer she'enem mishtameres, that's why it doesn't work. But Rabbi Yosy Chanina, what he said is halacha. We're talking about a proper chotzer that has gates and it's secured and it's really taken. It's not, you cannot just say, since it's in my property, it works. No, my property that is being watched is like it's in my hand. I hold it, so I have a physical action in taking it in my position. By the Amora Yochai a safer. If you say that it's talking about a chotzer she'eino mishtameres, let's see if it works for the sefer of this Mishnah. Yotzal Hashem Metzia be'ir. If everyone knows that, listen, there's a deer or running away and he got killed, but there's a lot of value there, and it's sitting there in the chotzer of the guy. Dvar of Kayomim says, if people know, then it can say, and he says it's mine, and it's my, then it's his. So who cares? It's still Chotzer Shem Shamer. You don't have a physical action to take it in your position. So what happened? Even it's not his, but people are afraid. Chotzer Shamer doesn't have to have physical gate and thing. As long people are hesitating and afraid to touch it, and some unfortunately say the government will be after you if you go into, like you said, you cannot enter somebody else's place, and people know that it belongs to them. So you're going into issues, and people. The fact is that people are not going to do anything. Yeah, but it's not. It's giving you like a shmira. It's like gates. It's like gates because it becomes mishtama. Because as long, what do you need gates? People to stay away from that. So as long people are staying away because any reason what is, even it's not a real reason, it's a government thing, and it was some fear. Doesn't matter. The moment you know that it's secured, you hold it, then you have a physical thing, and then you have your das, and it's finished. So the Gemara in this case, therefore, it works. Meisvei. Zevela Yotzim will learn a different Mishnah. That ashes or fertilizer that comes out from the tanur or from the kirayim. I never knew that ashes can use as fertilizer. Or it says the ashes that comes out from the oven and the stove is his. The soicher, that koilet min avir. Koilet min avir is a tricky thing, and the animal makes a business in the field, and before it drops to the floor, to the ground, he goes with a kli and is catching it while it's in the air. So it didn't reach the ground. The chotzer shel adam koinel shel medaito is only, the Gemara here assumes that it's only when it's reaching the ground. Before it reached and it shifted in his own position, then he goes and catches it. Then he's a reil shaloi. He can do it. If it's the refes that is not his own, he didn't meant it. Is the balabais? If you hold like Rabbi Yossi Hanina holds in general, who cares that he catches it in the middle of the air? What the chotzer is you need the ground only to bury people. You need just the actual ground. But in general, a chotzer is included everything you use. Is the air also. So if you say chatzer shalom, it doesn't say the ground of the chotzer, but there has to be that it doesn't hold from the halacha the chatzer shalom konishon laiter. So you see, it contradicts the halacha of Rabbi Yossi Chanina, and for the Gemara, Omar Abaye, the madlik kli b'shulei pore. When he does the business, he goes and it sticks the kli right away. It doesn't have a gap of air. So it means it never went to the chotzer. It went direct from the animal that is not his animal. It's after direct to his kli and is excluded. Zog the Gemara. This is one text. Rava says alocha. Rava says even there was a gap, but since it ends up in the kli. Is a obvious she'ein soifer lanuach lafke munach dami. Says Allah, yeah, obvious she'ein. The only reason that in a chotzer we have to know the lamdas. I didn't get to the core to that because the Gemara in the question all that the use of a chotzer is also there of the chotzer. So why is only when is only lanuach? Even soifer shaloi lanuach is using it. It's a part of the chotzer. We know that there's certain halachas. Chatzer shalom is adel kia. So, and the svara is that has to be the thing. So, why would it be different? The Gemara says only because even you put a kli and you're stealing it because it's not sefer lanuach. Who cares? It's not sefer lanuach. But you just asking the question.
Every bird that flies over
yeah,
the
but
chotzer is
okay, the bird is. We'll see later because Oh, this Gemara is talking. The Gemara is talking to them also. The Gemara is really talking about it. But this is Taka is saying, why is the difference? The Gemara says by flying it will be less of reason to think because flying is really never here. It's never here. It's just passing by your property. It's not considered it's here. It's not existing in the air. But here it exists. It's there. It's going to be.
Like it's not gonna land.
Oh, so the Gemara makes a difference between that. Well,
Horizontal versus vertical.
I think the reason is the kli is mevatel the chotzim. The kli that I come when a person comes and has a kli, he is himself considered to be a separate entity. So he is mevatel the chotzim. The chotzim is really a chotzim, but if it's you can say the chotzim is a chotzim when it's going to land. It's not going to land, and I mevatel is also in Shabbos because it's useful. You see the Gemara, you will see the Gemara later on says this nafkamina. So the Gemara, but now Rav says. Rav is like so posh that we know in a different place that he had a question in this and he wasn't sure about this halacha. The boy Rav Zora Karne Kemi Pesach Ze B'Yotzu Pesach. This is this that he was throwing something through his chotzer, but it never landed to the chotzer. So he had this shaila now. So you see, he wasn't sure. How can you say now that it says, Rabbi says, since it never was about to land, it's not koine. You say here that there's a had a shaila. Anymore, it's not the same. You can't compare. Also, loy mifsak veloy mide. Over there, there's no hefsek. Ache mifsakli. Here, the kli is on the hefsek. So according to what we said, the efsek is not just a efsek like a chatzitza. What's like efsek? If it's his, it's his. It doesn't his. But what is the chatzitza? What does the kli make? So I think the kli what is made, it makes like a new reshus. It's not over there. There's no fight between two reshus. It's just something in the air, and we don't know what is it. But here it's in the air, and a different reshus interferes with this reshus. So who knows who's stronger? So Robert says. When there's a different reshus fighting, then we don't say that. When there's no different reshus fighting, just flying through, I really don't know. The second, we learned in this Mishnah also, Sheberefes, Shebechotzer, Arei Elu Shebalabayis. Maybe more Tauter. Why do you have to say Refes and Chotzer? It doesn't have different halachas. It's both of them are properties, private properties, and it's not included. So why the Mishnah has to give two examples? Omar Abaye, Ochekoma, Sheberefes, it's just practical that usually the fertilizer is in the refus and it rolled over to the chotzer and he rents the house and he would assume maybe I am entitled to have the fertilizer that rolled over to the chotzer that is serving my house that I'm renting. The Gemara says no, it's a reisha balabayis. Omar Abashi. From this Mishnah that he says that it's obviously that the refus you don't have to talk. You talk about the chotzer, but you say it's rolling over the chotzer. It's not his, but the refus you don't have to talk. The refus is for sure excluded. It's not a shaila b'chlal because the Gemara. I think that this is why the Gemara is assuming from that because the Gemara just explained that the reason the Mishnah mentioned refus is not because a direct halacha, just because of practicality, it was rolling over from the refus to the chotzer. So it means the refus is not something to talk about. So it means because obviously we accept that when you rent a house, the refus will not be a part of it. Zog the Gemara, a different question on Rabbi Yosy Bar Chanina. Meisvei, Yoinei Shoivach. So in the morning, somebody says Shoivach is a dove coat. He said dove coat. Dove coat. Or a bird house. Now, this is a third one. Yeah. Yeah. So this, in order to understand this Gemara clear, there's words in the Gemara that looks like that we makes it's confusing, and it's important to give a shtick like Doma. We're talking here about Shiluach HaKan. We used to, that people are very excited, they have in their backyard a can, and they go and make Shiluach HaKan. According to this Gemara, there's no way to make a Shiluach HaKan in your own place. Because Shiluach HaKan learns Tikoi, means to say in the wild. Even the Pasuk says, Prat Oh, this is what I think. My father, I remember when I was a child, father says, and it was
The mafka,
You have
well,
to
you
mask
see
it.
them making the
right before his years. If once it's years, it's not. But the Lashon Apostle, the Gemara says, Pratul Mezuma. Mezuma means that you arrange it. It has to be like when you have a birdhouse and you then make them con, that means you are targeting and this is not Allah. The Gemara here is talking about your place or not your place. It means it has to be in the wild, not in your own place. Once it's your own place, there's no halacha of Shiluch HaKam. You know?
Shiloh, some sentence of Shiloh, so exactly your Shiloh, and they mentioned this.
So they say that to be mafkin
We just said, if they come into you, it's your
on your place.
property.
Yeah. And many people don't know the halachas and they make Shiluch HaKam. And probably they say, some say that in Shiluch HaKam we're not supposed to do is Tabul Chaim.
And it's supposed to be a kosher bird.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a kosher bird.
Yeah, some are asking in Shiluch HaKam in general, you know, the Gemara says, Yagiu Achamecho, Amishaskim, I say, it's like the Torah is luxurious. But some say the only thing of Shiluch HaKam, why is it Rachmanos? Because people take eggs. The Gemara just tells, the Torah tells you, when you take eggs, make it Rachmanos, make it soft. Send away the mother, we see the Gemara later, not be in front of her. So this is not such an Rachmanos, make it in a soft way. It's not that you are doing a
That's another thing, it has to be the mother. Sometimes the father is sitting on the bird.
Yeah, this is
You
also,
have to go at nighttime, because at nighttime for sure,
you have to
mother.
know when the nature of them to see it. And I remember my father tried to send away the bird. She didn't move. It was stubborn sometimes. It was not easy to make it go. And the Gemara says,
AJ had it at his house last year and this year, same place. It came back.
mhm,
And whatever, a whole bunch of people did it. When I did it,
mhm,
the eggs were already hatched. So
mhm.
there was little birds,
Yes,
chickens. and you had-
Koachim is also.
Yes, they had to pick up.
Oh, that's not
It
easy.
was so scary.
The egg.
Not the egg, the little, I don't know what it's like.
Birds, they're
It's a
chicks.
bird. Yeah, little chicks, but it's
Mhm,
very, very
It
small.
was on his property.
I have a video, I'll show you.
mhm. They're red. They're very
Scary looking. They're like very ugly.
Yeah.
They just came out of the thing.
feathers, like is like tight.
So you feel like they're gonna bite you because their mouth is open, you know?
It was on his property.
Yeah, but he's not,
It was mafkir, yeah. There's a lot. You can see online how to do it properly. People don't know. They get excited and make Shiluch HaKam. You have to see.
That's what I
the
wanted to tell you. As soon as you sent away the bird,
halacha.
as soon as you walked away, the bird came back.
Of course it comes back.
Right back.
There's no problem. As long as she was away, there's also how far she has to be if she can still watch it because she's emotional. She stays and watches. It's not so possible.
Also, if you touch the eggs with your bare hands,
Mhm.
they don't come back. You have to touch with a glove.
Because it's not.
Contaminated, whatever.
But the mother won't come back.
Why do you need a mother to come back?
I think you want to do it over and over.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get it by.
No, you take with a rubber glove.
Mm-hmm. I think they cannot develop afterwards.
Maybe
Yeah.
something with the egg.
Omar Vashi, yeah. Metzia. Yoynei Shoivach v'Yoynei Aliyah, that he has a place in his backyard and it's getting their nests develop. Chayov is b'shiluach, v'asur is b'gezel mitnei darkei shalom. Two
There's no
things.
reason to push the time, right?
What?
There's a
Man yarich, it's gulas mentioned like it.
rules, yeah, of a
No,
It's not like-
normally the halacha is they say when you want to take the eggs, you take. It's not a positive mitzvah necessity to do it. When you need eggs, do it in this way. This is mostly your Rishonim hold. But it became a big student.
Why would you eat the egg?
Huh?
Why would you eat the egg?
You can eat it.
Eat it.
Yeah. When you're hungry, small eggs also counts. Also,
Round, not oval.
huh?
Round, not oval, that's enough.
No, if it's oval, if it's round, then it's not
Mm-hmm.
Oh, round.
like an ostrich.
Anyways, so the halacha is these two things. You have to know if the halacha of Shiluch HaKam applies, and if the halacha of if he's koine, if it's koine, it's his and he cannot take it. There's two things that you want to handle. Furthermore, you see that you can do Shiluch HaKam. Now, as the Gemara, Tosfos says that the question can be from both. Also from the say why you say asurum b'shum darkei shalom means that only because darkei shalom, but not because of real ownership. So why not ownership? It's your chotzer. Why chotzer not koine? So it says this can be asked, but the Gemara prefers to ask the first question about how can you make shiluach hakan if it's in your own place. In your own place, you don't do shiluach hakan. But both can be applied. How can you say if it's his, as the Gemara says, korikan prat lemezumen, ki kori lecho prat lemezumen, and prat lemezumen, as we said before, means that it has to be excluding my own place. And if he's according to Rabbi Yosy Chanina that the own place, that if it's resting in my chotzer, it becomes my own nest, that means it's my own. If it's your own, you cannot make shiluach hakan. And the fact that the Gemara says that you still can do shiluach hakan, that means it doesn't hold according to the halacha of Rabbi Yosy Chanina, the Chatzei Shel Adam, koine shalem da'at is a kasha of Rabbi Yosy Chanina. It's a very tricky situation. It's a way that the bird is not your own place yet enough to not make shiluach hakan, but it's not yet there to be koine. So that's why it's mishtikum darkei shalom. You cannot take it, but it's not yours. Very more why. Beitzo b'yitzio rubo yid b'chayeves b'shiluach. When does shiluach hakan apply the chiyuv to make shiluach hakan, the mitzvah of shiluach hakan? When it's mostly out. Roiv. Because what do you need? You don't need ownership, you need a beitza. When it's considered a beitza, like all other halachas of roiv. You have mostly out, you have a beitza. You can make a shiluach hakan. But ownership has to rest on the place of the chotzer. So the last part, before it falls out to make the ownership, he catches it. So the Gemara says in this matzav, shiluach hakan you can do because it's not yours, but the place is not yours yet. It's not bikoina yet. Therefore, you have to do mishum darkei shalom to return, because without the darkei shalom you wouldn't return it because it's not yours yet. By the Gemara, the chayv lebishiluach nikne loy kanye, but it's not koine yet. More will talk. No, it's not out there yet. Because it wasn't in the, you said because it's not out. No. No, because here I have to say, it's true, I have to mention that. Like when it's still in the by the mother is a bottle to the mother. Now you ask why the mother is not training. She's standing on the so this I didn't see it before, but I mean it's partial that the mother is a flying bird. This is not the chot from Shanar. As the Gemara says, animals, and the Gemara is talking about the Eved Knani, you cannot decline it because he walks away. It's not easy, he has das. So we'll see later. So the shiluach has to be before because it's not his own. Why is the surah from Gazel? It's free. Yeah, but you know all that even darkei shalom is not there. When is darkei shalom? When it's there, but it's not there. It's still bottled to the mother. So why is it darkei shalom? So darkei shalom talking about the mother. Don't take the mother because people will be now. We just said why is darkei shalom? So the Meforshim say, what is darkei shalom? It's very interesting. Usually people say the halacha is halacha. What is Chinese? Halacha is not yours. What's darkei shalom? You go to a rav and you say, yeah, everyone says go to a rav and settle it. It's not yours. What's the darkei shalom? Darkei shalom means when you have a feeling. Not everyone is a Talmud Chacham that lives with the values of Torah, that the Rav will pass. He feels that it's in my nest. It comes all the time in my place, and you come and take it and make yourself a balabas. You say, Shulchan Aruch, it says, since it wasn't Ruboy and you have a pilpul, and you say it's not yours, very nice. But the people feel bad, and it feels that it wasn't right. So not everything is exact. It's not a fifth Shulchan Aruch, it's like a feeling of a person that this will create machlokes. The Gemara says that it's avoid machlokes. It's not. People will have a bad feeling that he took mine. This is the fact. The Gemara is very interesting. Sometimes says, "What's that? Look, kinzaru. Is you create a bad feeling, and you have to see. This the Gemara said. The Gemara made a takana. Isa the Rabbanan is the mamish, of course, Bibles. Is mamish taking away from somebody that he owns it 100% of the halacha, just to avoid machlokes. Like the more Imon, even we know that we said before that the mother is also not being koine fully because she's a flying bird and she has no chotzer. But before she says, since she keeps on coming, you said they're coming back and they return. It's like this place is her home. And then you come and take it away. Most of the people will feel very bad and will create machlokes. The truth is, we're talking about the beitzim. Because it's going out, most of them, even you say it's not koine, but the owner creates already machlokes, he counts of it. This is a second teretz. The third teretz, v'ashte de Omer Rav Yehuda Omer Rav. Also, this case the beitzim calls man she'aim roi vetz salem she'nemar shalach t'shalach esem v'odar sabonim tikach lo. This is a halacha that was discovered later. That Rav Yehuda says, name from Rav, that you can't do shiluch haken without sending away the mother. We can say afilu teimed enough l'chatzerei. We can say even though she already fall to the chotzer and the chotzer is koine, but is not koine. Why? The halacha of chotzer chaser shalom koine shalom daito is only when he's going in. The chotzer goes and extend myself. But if I myself cannot take it, the chotzer cannot work for me. Why can't I take it? Because the halacha is that you can't take it before you send away the mother. So if the halacha stays in your way to get it, the chotzer cannot work for you. So it says, Kol eicha de iyu motzi zoch lo yichatzeiro zach. The Kol eicha de iyu lo motzi zach lo yichatzeiro nami lo zach le. Like the Gemara, if so, yocha asu is begezem darke shalom. Why? If the Ganev comes, not the Ganev, the guy is entering his property and he takes it. If he sends away, it's a Gezel Ma'aliyah. It's already, the Chotz is koine. Either Lo Yisholcha or Bo Yishlucha. You can't be, you're telling me Allah of the Rabbanon, Dark Yishol, and says, does Aveira. You cannot take the Bonne without Shalach Zaben, is a Issa Torah. And for the Gemara, the cotton, the Ladbar Shiluachu. A cotton is not entitled to keep the halachas properly, and the
mother was there.
The mother was there. He took it, so he took his own. A cotton, you say you don't care about the halachas. And what about Darkei Shalom? All of a sudden, a peacemaker is he? He doesn't care about the Raisa. He doesn't care about the abundance either. So the Gemara Achekoma, Aviv shekotn chayv lachzer. When he comes home with the egg, legally it's his. It belongs to him, and he can keep it. The father, since it's Darkei Shalom, has to return the egg. Rab the Mishnah. This is again a contract problem. You write a contract and you don't think everything that comes up afterward. You said in contract, I give it to you for a year. The year means 12 months or means a year. Then when it comes Iber, it's another thing. I said, sorry, I said a year.
They didn't know.
They didn't think about it. This is where
They didn't know. They made a cheshbon.
no, but he can say a condition if there will be a Iber. You don't think this is a lawyer's job. He has to say, listen, what are you doing a Iber? You put it in there. The lawyer will make a contract missing this part will be a problem. This is what he has to be thinking of. So he was just telling him for a year. He said a year. This is still the same year. So if it's additional months, the Soicher is gaining it. He's benefited extra. If you told him months, then obviously Nisab Rashon, Nisab Ulamaski, and the additional months. I just gave it for months. There's 13 months. You have to pay for 30 months. Somebody was renting a bathhouse. He said both. He says, I want for 12 zov for the year that comes out one for each month. Now this is a problem because you said both. What's going on? You going about the first what you said, or
It sounds kind of clear that
it's not both?
one times 12 is 12.
No, but you said for the year.
Yeah, but by adding on the month, now you know that it's not 13.
Yeah, but in a contract, this contract, we'll
I
see it.
understand what
We'll
you're
see it
saying.
later. We'll see it later that this is a fully contradiction. It's contradiction because when I say a year, means I refer to the year. I'm not talking about months. When I say months,
An annual payment.
yeah. So when you say a year, I was talking about a year. No, this goes with, maybe you can make it, no, not so big month, huh? Well, maybe this way will go. Oh, you're right, yeah. Okay, Bo Maise Lifnei Rab Shimon Gamliel Lifnei Rab Yosy again to the Din Torah. V'amru Yachloikus Chodeshi, but they have to split. So some Meforshim, most of the Meforshim learn that this goes into the category of the Machloikas of Momo and Amutul the Sofik. There's a Machloikas the Sumchus and Rabbanon, and this Mishnah goes according to Sumchus and Momo and Amutul the Sofik Achloiku. And this is Meforshim, but this is the most common way to learn. So the Gemara Maise Lister. You just said either a year or 12 months. Being a mice is a soiser. The Ritvois another Rishonim is asking, it's not soiser. It's this scenario wasn't mentioned in the Mishnah. The Mishnah was only year, we know, E gains, and 12 months E gains, but this is both. So they say it's soiser because it's a story that you're being like, and the Mishnah didn't talk about. But the ritual.
We never had a psak of Yachloiku. The Mishnah said either this one or
Yeah.
that one. Never said Yachloiku. And also we have a Maisa.
Yeah, so but why is the Lashon Maisa Lista means the Maisa is soiser, what we said in the Mishnah, it's not
The
soiser.
Mishnah never said Yachloiku.
Oh, it's not soiser. It says Maisa for what? The Maisa has to be for what you're bringing it. If we didn't mention it, but the Ritva is explaining that it's still considered a Maisa Lista because it's not mentioned. You can see the Ritva has a few ways to learn it, but it's explaining the word of Maisa Lista. Anyways, the Gemara is asking Maisa Lista, the Gemara Ksura Mechsera. You have to add some words in the Mishnah, you will see a work side. He said both. Medina Zov the Chodesh, Bo Maisif, Mirashin Gamliel, Lefnei Rabbi Yosy, V'amru Yachloik is a Chodesh Ha'ibur. That is, yeah. The Chsura Mechsera, somebody I heard once from Rashid, he says Chsura Mechsera is not something, you're not adding it. They were talking short version, and people talk like that. They miss the thing. You say when you bring the Maisif, you understand that.
They all understood.
Yeah, they understood it, yeah. Omarav, if I would be in this base then, I wouldn't pass me like that. I would give everything to the master. So the Gemara says, Rav says, but he didn't say for what is coming. Why is he saying what he's saying? Michael Mashmalan, what is Allah is applying here? Why would he argue with a Mishnah? So the Gemara, because he holds twice Lashon Achron. When somebody says two Lashonas, but one contradicts the other one, then the Allah is twice Lashon Achron. It means I withdraw the first lashon and I make a new lashon, and this is what applies, and this was mechayev, and this is what he holds. Like the more, if this is what he wants to say, your Amr Rav Chadazina, he already said it very clear in a different sugya. You don't have to keep on saying the same halacha, repeating. The Amr Abune Amri Beirav Isteremor Asteri is a matbeya that usually it's as only 96 more, the small fruitus, but the good one has 100. But he said Asterin, he said Noya more, so it's also contradicting. So he says if he said first Aster and then Meir Moya, then he has to give Meir Moya. If he says Meir Moya and then Aster, he has to give Aster. He has to give a Shvache one, because Tvois Losh Nachon. You see, he already said the halacha that Tvois Losh Nachon. Yeah, so the Gemara Imi also Mave Amina Pirush Kamefarish. Over there, I would say Pirush Kamefarish. Here also that you cannot say its explanation. Now, why over there you can say explanation? Because Aster is generally 96, but it can be more. You can't explain yourself. So explain yourself means you stick to the first one, you just explain it. So then he says, no, we don't go like that. We say it's twice Losh Nachman. Here you cannot explain why. As we said before, when he says a year is 12 months, not explanation. It's not explanation. We're talking about months or we're talking about a year. It's two different items. A year will never be 12 months. A year is a year. A year usually has 12 months. So it can't explain. If you go and passing from the year to 12 months, that means you're changing the contract, not explaining the contract. The term of a year, I refer to a year. Whatever the year means, the people rent like that. Rent for the year? Yes, I rent for the year. Rent for the month or not for the month? The month is different halachas.
Lawyer.
Because like a year
Yeah.
could sometimes be 12, could sometimes be 13. And I mean, right now, I'm talking about a 12 month.
Yeah, but this
Just like we do with the coin.
this is what I'm explaining. A coin has both. A year doesn't have both. A year is a year.
It does have both.
No, it doesn't have a both.
Yeah,
This is what
12
I'm
months
saying.
and 13 months.
I understand the way I understand the Gemara that a year is a year. The year sometimes has 12 and sometimes more. There's not an explanation. When you deal with the year, say, I'm obligated to the year. It's an annual contract. It's not a monthly contract. It's an annual contract. I'm not going into details. Sometimes because it's a year, I give you credit. Sometimes because a year is different. Month to month is different. It's a cheap thing. It's a different. I rent for the month, rent for the year. Now the year is 12 months. Yeah, usually what it'll be, people don't think. It'll be I don't think about it. I don't have it. Now when it comes to Allah, no, I want the extra month. But when they do the contract, they don't care about it. It's like once in 3 years it'll be, it doesn't care. It's a year, it's a year deal. It's a deal of the year. The year has a name and you deal and the contract says a year. Why do you say 12 months? I say 12 months, I contradict. But I contradict, then for sure it's a contradiction. Well, even when you can say it's explanation, it's not the same. Rav has to apply the both halachas in both areas. Yeah, Shmuel Omar different teretz. He says the Mishnah never said the halacha of sumchus of Yachloiku because it's a mammon amut l'sofik. He says we're talking about a case. It comes in the middle of the chodesh and we're talking about a muchzek. Bebo be'ensa chodesh askinan avobo betchilas chodesh that he didn't use it yet. So the full who is the machzik? The muchzik is the owner. So the owner has the full rights to say, give me a full month, otherwise get out of here, because he's a muchzik. The best of that the renter, when he used it, who is the machzik? The renter. Then his kulei goes according to the regular thing of a muchzik that it says, what are you talking? We have a suffix. I hold it. Take it. It's not a suffix. The Mishnah will learn in the beginning that it says it applies a matzav of a suffix. It says not a suffix. It's a suffix. Yeah, it's a suffix, but it's a muchzik. Like the Gemara, me, Omar, Shmuel, Loyam, that means it doesn't hold from the idea of Tvois Loshnachon. If it would be Tvois Loshnachon, then there's no suffix.
What was Lashna?
Loshnachon was that it says month. So he says, if he doesn't hold Loshnachon, Vorav Shmuel the Amri Tarvayu, Kur b'shloishim ani moicher lo yochel lachzor bo afilu b'soach achrono, because as long it didn't deliver the full core, the business, the deal wasn't done yet, and he has the rights to take back his words. Kur b'shloishim so b'sela. If he says I give kur b'shloishim, that means each saw I give you per sela. Ani moicher lo rishon kono. Each and every sela. It means you see that you twice lashon that you said in the beginning kur, and then you said you really wants to do that sobesela. You see that you go according that he said sobesela. You see that he holds the idea of twice lashon. So you know. Also, in time in my over there is not because he said, because over there he's changing the chazaka. Mishum the tofisbo. Each saw was going and transferring to his position. Now, even the suffix is the same suffix, the position has changed. Once the position is changed, we know he's the muchzik. So the same suffix will be holding it in his hand. Is what I said now, what I said, Shmuel said, is also according to the muchzik. The owner is the muchzik, Sof HaChodesh, the seicher is the muchzik. So you don't ask me, it's not because of Tvois Lashon and what I said there. It's only I go always to the typhus. Whoever is the typhus, whoever the muchzik, over there, the muchzik is each saw you become a muchzik because it transfers right away. And here, the muchzik is whoever is in the used it. If it's chilas achodesh, you never used it yet. It means who owns it? The owner. He's the muchzik. So you want to use it another month, pay. But if you end up using it when I come at the end of the chodesh, the end of chodesh, therefore says yachloiku, because this half you used, half you didn't use, half.
Even the social is already he's
Yeah.
in the house.
It's not a muhzek. You can be kicked out right away.
Yeah, good luck.
It's not a muhzek. I can always, I'm telling you, I can, muhzek in the Gemara is not now today, with the rules.
Those days you were able.
Those days, no, it's not. It's not a muhzek. It's not muhzek now for tomorrow. It's muhzek for this moment. Get out of here. It comes to Beis, they want to do the halacha. Now I'm talking about people coming to Beis and say, I want to do halacha. You're not muhzek. Can't say I'm muhzek for tomorrow. Rav Nachman Omar, different halacha, that karka b'cheskas ba'alei kemes. I hold in this situation with a bath house, karka b'cheskas ba'alei kemes. It means that goes always to the owner. Like the that's exactly what he said for his lashon achron, that it goes to the month, and the month means you have a 13 months, and then it goes to the owner. Why do you use a different term? To say karka b'cheskas halacha is the same halacha. The Bamir goes to kasha this the Gemara. He says the lumdus. But this is exactly what the Gemara answers. The Gemara, no, not didn't say the sense, not yet. When I say the kasha, what is the kasha? He says alumdus that always you go with a monk. The Gemara says, but in the bottom line, that's the same as Lashon Achron, like Rav says. So you can say just I hold like God. No, I don't know like God. Oh, this is what the Gemara says. I forgot the afich meipach. If the story will be opposite, I still hold that it goes with a muchzek. But the kasha
Doesn't hold it like that.
right. So the kasha is sometimes like here, is like many times, the kasha is not really kasha. The kasha is just to get to the answer. Yeah. Okay, we're already here. It's very interesting. If they have still a few minutes, and this halacha of the egg coming out on 3/4 of the way, that makes different halachas. I saw interesting what Chaim Brisker said, and is asking on Sholem Melech. Sholem Melech, the pasuk says that he was one of his averas was that he didn't kill all the animals of Amalek. And the Navi was had kindness on him. How come you didn't listen to the Navi saying you're not allowed to take the animals and you have to kill them? So he said, I wanted to give it to Korbanos LaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu told him, "K'toiv v'shmoya dvar Hashem mizevach toiv I don't need your favors. I have everything. Listen to what I tell you. That's what I need. I need you to listen to what I say." So Chaim's asking, what was his avenue? Sholem wasn't there. The averas of those people are big averas. Means that they had a Torah and lumdus, not listening. Sholem is not listening to Kadosh Baruch Hu. So he says a similar teretz to this Gemara. He says the kinyan of Dalad Amish Lodam Koinen L'Shlem Gaitoi is that says that in war, when you have a chiyuv to kill the Amalek animals is when it's in your position. But Magdish is becomes before. I think Dal Damas. Dal Damas is enough to Magdish, but not enough to be a chiyuv to Koineva, to be the chiyuv. So he says that he had a lumdus. He says we want to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu and give him korbanos. And let's do before when it's in our position to be magdish, but not in our position to kill, and we can bring a lot of korbanos. Possession, yeah. So as the Gemara says, so the Gemara answers them, and so the Chaim says that the Navi told them, right, legally you're right, but you know what I wanted? I want the animals killed. So don't make lumdus. This is what Chaim says. No, I say also the eggs is the same thing. 3/4.
Right.
It's right time to make this. You're not time to do. You have to know precisely what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we stop here? Don't want it to race it.
He's texting from the plane. You see that?
No.
He's on his phone. He says, "Yeah, she could."
Oh, yeah. I didn't know. I don't know. I said end.
Oh, you got sent to me. I thought you posted on the chat.
Who posted?
Oh,
Okay, so first,
I did something. I don't know.
no, you did okay. So let's stop the recording.